So everything we've looked at so far has been direct light. So in this example, we've looked at several times now. We've got a light from the right, and it's lighting everything that you can see. And in the shadows, we don't have anything. Now we know that that's not really how light works in real life. What works in real life is you have something called indirect light. All right, so I've set up a weaker light source over here on the left side. And as we move the head around, the light's staying in the same place. So I've got that really bright white highlight. That's our direct light we've been talking about. But on the left side of his face now, you can see that we've got this much weaker light. It's not as strong, and it seems to be much softer. And that's sort of the key thing to keep in mind when you start working with indirect light, or you might call this ambient light. You might hear this be called bounce light. There's a lot of different ways that a lot of different things you can call this. But what I found is by understanding how to work with indirect light, you can really come up with some cool, realistic looking effects. It's not really that much harder. It's just a different way of kind of looking at things. All right, so we're back in Procreate, and I'm going to make a new layer just for the sake of easy turning this off and on. And I'm going to set this to add mode also. You might want to try screen or some other mode, but I like add mode. And we're going to do a different color this time. And I'm going to pick a color that is opposite of our light source color. And this isn't always the case, but a lot of times it looks pretty cool. So let's say that our guy is out in the sunlight, and it looks like maybe it's late in the day. It's kind of a really orangey sunset we've got going on here. The color that you're going to choose for the bounce light is really the color of the environment. Okay, sometimes that might be, an overall blue sky, but it could be something different. If it's nighttime, then it might be a different color. It's totally up to you guys what you want to use, but you want it to be a subtle color. It's not as bright as your direct light, not in this case anyway. And it's generally going to be the color of your environment. And don't forget, if you put this on a separate layer, you can always change it later. So the rules that I would set up for myself when I want to do something, when I want to do some bounce light, is I want to think of it as a light that sort of is coming from everywhere. It's coming from every angle just about. But typically you want it to be opposite your direct light just to make it easier to work with. And you want it to be dimmer and softer than the other areas that you've done. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to imagine a very weak light blue light source coming from the left side, and we're coming from kind of all around. But these are only going to be in the areas that the direct light has not touched, because in the direct light areas where that orange light was, it's going to overpower this. So this light is not going to go into those areas. All right, I'm just going to kind of rough this in. Very low opacity. It's only about 15%. And so it's kind of going to hit over here. And maybe this side of his nose. All of these little areas over here. And we can adjust the effect, how much of this affects the image later. So again, I'm just trying to think of where would the light go as long as it wasn't direct light. Okay, so that's not perfect, but it gives us a good kind of starting point. Now I could go in, I don't want any hard edges on this light, okay, because it's not a harsh light, everything's going to be soft. So I'm going to blend this with the smooth, like a blender brush here. It's a pretty weak color, like there's not a whole lot of color in it, so you might want to bump up the saturation a little bit. You might want to turn it down, it's kind of up to you. You can play around with the actual color. But I kind of want to keep it that bluish color. And I can turn down the opacity, like overall if the effect is too strong, I can just turn that opacity up and down. And you could do it on the hair too if you want. But again, keep it in the areas that are not being reached with the other light source. But you can see it's a very subtle effect, but it makes a big difference. And it gives you something to do in the shadows. I know when I first started, I really had a hard time. I'm like, I got a big shadow here, I don't know what to do with it. Well, this is what you can do with it, is you can add a very, very light, very subtle bounce light into those areas, and it really makes it look a whole lot better. And you can see this effect, it's very subtle, but you can see it in the shadow areas on this guy's face. You can see it under his arms. If I turn this off and on, you guys will be able to see that bouncing off and on. So again, they're only in the darkest areas of the shadows because we've got the blue light from the sun, or the sky in this case, that's still lighting these areas that the sun's not hitting. So you can think of that sky as one big light source. You can see it a little bit on Spider-Man here too. If I turn this off and on, you can see that little bit of very subtle blue that's only showing up in the shadows and nowhere else. So the same rules apply to this as any other light source, you know. I wouldn't want this effect to be very strong, you know, under where the hairline is here. You know, that hair is going to sort of cover that. You know, I don't want as much of it, you know, under the eyes. If the light's still coming from the top, then, you know, the eyes are still going to be kind of dark there. And the same rules apply here. If you wanted to do some very subtle, more specular highlights on this, you could, adding a few little lighter spots here and there. But as long as you keep it simple and not over powerful, or not too powerful here, then it's going to work pretty well. And here's some other examples of this in the first panel. If I turn this off and on, and especially if you look like in this area underneath his arm, under his chin, this guy's face, even a little bit up here, there's just a little bit of that very subtle blue. You'll see that bouncing in and out. So it's all contained to the shadows, and it's all opposite our main light source. So these are all the areas that are facing down. And again, if you don't like the color, you can always shift the color later. So to recap on indirect light, because it's easily kind of overdone, is number one, make sure it stays contained to your shadows. It should never seep into the direct light part because, again, the light from in this case, the sun, is already lighting that. And this other light's going to be far too weak for that. So one, keep it contained within the shadows. Two, keep it soft. You know, and none of these areas have I used a lot of really harsh edges on that blue bounce light. Okay. And then three, just keep it soft, keep it subtle. That was the last thing, is don't go too crazy with this. Unless that's what you want. You know, if you want crazy, if you have, let's say for example, you know, I don't know, let's say these guys are standing right next to, I don't know, some glowing blue orb or something that some alien has placed here, then yeah, you know, go into these areas and go crazy. You know, make it as bright and crazy looking as you want. You know, it doesn't under normal circumstances, under normal lighting, you're not really going to get a bounce light that's as bright as your direct light. And if the light was brighter below, then you probably need to rethink your lighting scenario. So I think that is it for direct light. So let's move on. Indirect light.